What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Otaku Kickback Sessions. As always, I am one of your two co-hosts, Easy the Shinobi, and joining me on this very day, as you can tell by the squeaky chair, is the one, the only. What are you doing?
I'm squeaking.
God, Green Spectre, Green Spectre,
Yeah.
everybody. Oh gosh. What a way to delight your ears this morning. Oh well, I know we're recording in the afternoon, but this is going to come out Wednesday morning. But yeah, happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend. If you managed to get some time off work, hopefully you're well rested and recuperated, and you binge watch some good shit, or you play some good shit. Um, how about you, man? How was your Memorial Day weekend?
I don't know. I worked and worked and worked.
And then you worked one more time. The hardest working weeb in this industry, ladies and gentlemen.
Probably the only working weeb in this industry.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, it's at least in the long run, it'll pay off in the long run. So that's plus you get some sweet overtime. Well, yeah, hopefully everybody's having a good had a good well rested weekend, and hopefully we can make your Wednesday mornings a little bit more better.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I think you had something that you wanted to start. I know we were during the planning of this episode, you wanted to do kick off with something, right?
Yeah. So, first of all, let's talk about trailers.
Mm-hmm.
The Stitch trailer. I saw it. I was like, oh, this looks cool. Legit, it looks just like the original. And then I did more research. What's the name of that one bounty hunter motherfucker that goes after Stitch?
Uh, I think you mentioned it the last time we were hanging out. Wasn't it Kantu? I'm gonna be honest. I've never seen the movie, so I think
Yeah.
his name was Kantu.
Well, apparently his big ass isn't going to be in the live action,
Oh wow.
which is concerning because he's the whole reason Stitch has that whole bonding thing with the humans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like without him in the movie, it's kind of like eating an ice cream cone without the ice cream. You're just munching on the cone.
Yeah, and sometimes yeah, you do need that. I think. I mean, I'm not really sure what it is that they're kind of the doing with the remake. I mean, I know people around our age aren't necessarily happy about it.
No,
Which
yeah, no. Our generation is like, man, fuck that movie. But honestly, it's for the new generation.
yeah, that's something to keep in mind. After over the past couple of years, I started to kind of, I'm not gonna say is like, oh yeah, I started to basically go for the remix right off the bat. Is more so like I started to kind of ask, man, why are they doing this? Why are they kind of changing up these characters or changing up the story for like the Disney remix and stuff, right? But then over the past 2 years or so, I'm like, yeah, it's not really meant for us in a way, because I mean, at the end of the day, we still have we still have the animated movies. And we still have to basically the copies of the animated movies and stuff, right?
As well as the scene where fuck, what's the name of that little girl?
Uh, no clue.
Well, there's a scene that was cut in the Disney Plus one because
Hmm.
obviously they want everything on there. She gets in a dryer and hides in there, but in the Disney Plus version, it's apparently like a small little desk with a pizza box over it.
That seems kind of so. She hides in the like under the desk.
Yeah, in the Disney Plus version. In the original version, she hid inside of a dryer.
God, it seems more stupid to basically it seems more stupid to basically update the original like animated movies for streaming
It,
services.
it's one of those things where it's More like, oh, we don't want kids to get the idea of hiding inside of a dryer.
No, but you leave that up to the parents. You basically just basically tell the. See, here's the thing: the parents should be the ones who essentially telling their kids, are like, hey, maybe don't do this or don't do that, or just don't. Just essentially tell them what to not do in order so and explain to us like, oh yeah, because the dryer might be hot or you get trapped in there and all that stuff. Just kind of like sit them down, like, hey, don't do this.
No, but that's how they learn.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically kind of how we learn. It's kind of like if you're being stupid, you get stupid consequences. And
Yeah, it took me up to my third time not to play with the car door because I kept slamming it on my hand.
Jesus, I can't blame you. I got my finger caught like 3 times in the little car window thing, where it rolls up, and then because I kept busy poking it out the window, I was like, at that point, yeah, just don't be stupid. But in any case, yeah, I'll say for the remakes, it's like, at the end of the day, this really isn't meant for us. It's more so meant for kind of like the new generation of kids and stuff, and if it's one of those things where it's like, say, you're so you have a kid and whatnot that they want to go watch kind of like the Stitch remake or something, um, just
I'd show them the original.
yeah.
I'd show them the original and then I'd take them to the new one.
Speaking about that, you did see, I think, the trailer for the How to what's the name of the movie? How to Train Your Dragon, right?
Yes,
Mm.
that one does look promising, and it looks like a blow by blow of the original.
Mm. So that's good. At least that's good. Probably they're aiming for. I'm assuming they're aiming to basically not just for the new generation, but for like the previous generation that happens to have kids now, where it's like, hey, come. You guys want to relive a bit of nostalgia? Come, bring your kid with you, so that way you guys could join in on the fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But in any case, it's just a couple of old heads, or not old heads, but at least getting to that point of being old heads talking about days gone by. Let's get into some anime news, shall we?
All right.
Um, I'll go ahead and start us off. Jujutsu Kaisen, they're having a movie coming out in North American theaters on July 16th. Um, the movie's going to be covering the hidden inventory and premature death arcs. It's also going to include a new mini anime title. Sorry, fucking tongue twister there. All right, first things first, go fuck yourself. So, God. The name of the mini anime is going to be called Juju Stroll. So, what now?
No, I just thought of something funny with that word.
God. So yeah. If you're looking forward to at least some more Jujutsu Kaisen content up until kind of like the Culling game arc starts and whatnot, I mean, it seems like it's gonna be this is something that tied you over until then. So yeah, July 16th, gonna get a new movie. Let's see. Call of Night season 2 airs on July 4th. I still gotta watch season 1. I heard it was pretty good. But I never got a chance to check it out. Um, Chainsaw Man. So we have some more news on the Chainsaw Man movie, the Reze arc. New info is going to drop for the movie on July 3rd at Anime Expo. So I believe it's going to be a panel announcement.
Okay.
So in case you guys are heading off to AX this year, um, make sure to grab and you want to check some more stuff out of the movie. Make sure to grab the registered tickets or the extra tickets that come with the panels because those motherfuckers go by quick. We know from experience those things go by super fast. Let's see. I never thought I would hear this, but did you know that there's going to be a Naruto theme park opening up soon?
Why?
Popularity. It's going to be opening up in France in 2026.
Of course, it's France.
Oh god.
The only good thing about France is that one VTuber.
Oh yeah. God, I like my precious French gremlin.
I prefer
Um,
the German Gremlin.
So yeah, it's gonna be opening up in 2026. Construction is starting underway, so there's gonna be more updates on it. So in the off chance you happen to basically be in France or go to France, and you hear this, maybe make a stop at the Naruto theme park. Pick me up something. I need some Naruto merch.
Don't do it
Why?
because you need to suffer.
Why? No, I don't need to suffer. You need to suffer. Why should I suffer?
I always suffer.
No,
That's
you.
just how I live.
Oh god. I can't wait for the day we can delve into the Green Spectre origin story and see the and see your Dark World for what it is.
Yeah, as soon as I get my VTuber model, I will.
Oh boy. Continuing on with the Naruto news, Naruto Shippuden is going to be having a collaboration with Converse to take out exclusive colorways for the Chuck Taylor high top model. It already dropped. It dropped back on the 22nd. I did see some of the colorways for it. I don't know, it looks pretty. It looks pretty solid. I do love the Itachi colorway though because it's basically a Katsuki colors and stuff.
Oh,
Um, so it looks pretty good. And you know obviously if you're a power lifter that's a huge anime fan, this could be something that you could fuck with. Seeing as how Converse are usually the go-to for power lifters whenever they for the gym, whenever they go to the gym and stuff. So just saying, little little financial tip for you. Let's see. So you remember that that anime? I don't think it's out yet. But the anime young ladies don't play fighting games, right?
yeah.
So funny enough, it's going to be getting a collaboration, and it's the most natural collaboration you can think of. They're going to be getting collab with Street Fighter Six,
Of
uh,
course they will.
and
It'd be
so
insulting if they didn't.
yeah, no, it fits perfectly. They're getting a collab. I guess what they're gonna. I don't think it's gonna be merged, but it's essentially gonna be using gameplay footage for Street Fighter Six into the scenes where they basically pass when they're actually playing the fighting games and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so this is when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, you know what? I can see it. This makes the anime adaptation a bit more better.
It'd be even better if it was footage of the actual VA playing.
God, I could see that doing it as an extra, as kind of like whenever they take out the Blu-ray, and you know how they do kind of like the behind the scenes stuff, where they kind of do like different what you would call it, different tasks and all that.
Yeah.
I could see the VAs essentially playing like Street Fighter Six, and trying to voice as the characters that they're voicing.
See, it'd be more realistic.
Exactly. Speaking of video games, the Quintessential Quintuplets, they're getting a new game. I think this is their fourth VN game or so over the past few years. But this is going to be a bit of a twist. Do you want to guess what this is about?
Hmm. I would guess, but it's more of a not safe for work answer. So I'm gonna restrain myself.
Do you have any safer work guesses that you could that you want to give?
No.
Yeah, man. Well, in any case, it's not what you. It's for sure not what you think. Um,
Never mind. I don't want it then.
so this game is actually going to be a dungeon RPG. From what read, it looks like you're essentially going to be playing as Hotaru, but you're going to be training Itsuki, Ichika, Miku, Nino, and Yotsuba on how to use magic. And then from there, you're essentially going to be, taking the standard RPG task of going through the dungeon and fighting monsters and upgrading your basically magic as you go on and stuff,
Okay.
which is a far, far right turn from the previous VN games where essentially,
Yeah, dating sims.
yeah, pretty much dating sims. Um, but yeah, it's gonna drop on September for the Switch and PlayStation. I'm assuming it's gonna be like how the previous visual novel games were, where it's yeah, where it's gonna be dropped in Japan in September, and then maybe if there's enough demand for it, maybe we could port it over to the US soon um, for it. So yeah, I figured I saw this. I'm like, wow, that's a kind of a good twist to it. So yeah, fuck it. Um, let's see. Moving on. According to leaks, My Hero Academia Vigilante season 2 is currently in production.
Ooh.
There wasn't much more about it, like a release date or so. Um, which I assume at the end of season 1 we're gonna get like an official announcement that My Hero Vigilante season 2 will return, or we're gonna get like at least an official year of the return. Um, but yeah, it looks like it's getting enough popularity to go for season 2. Let's see, the One Punch Man
Uh,
manga, but
you were about to say one pun, man.
no, no, that's if you have a bunch of dad jokes. But could you imagine a superhero that just drops a bunch of puns?
I'm pretty sure you'd be very punny.
Good. Let's see. Speaking about it, One Punch Man. The manga is gonna go on hiatus for about 2 months, returning on July 17th, and basically following up on another hiatus. The Ruri Dragon manga is also gonna go on hiatus for 2 months, with a planned return on July as well. So beyond if you're reading the manga, if you're falling a bit behind on both those titles, it's a perfect time to catch up in the meanwhile. So there you go. And that's all I got from my half. So the floor is yours.
Nice. So let's kick things off with the Crunchyroll Anime Awards of 2025.
Let's go. I did see the basically that this happened over the weekend, um, and there
Which is
was
why we didn't do anything during the weekend.
yeah. Well, I mean, we did stuff. Remember, we went to go
No,
basically
but we
shut.
didn't do the podcast.
Right, right. That's true. That's true. That's on me. That was my own poor planning. But yeah,
It
that's
was.
you're supposed to say it's okay.
No. I give you straight facts with bluntness.
Not that you don't have to be that blunt.
But I like being that blunt.
Good. But yeah, no.
I am as
What?
I am as blunt as a shillelagh.
Oh man.
Anyhow, Ninja Kamui wins Best Original Anime of the Year 2025.
I'm surprised about this one because at
Yeah,
least
it was hated because it was like misleading and shit.
well, supposedly I know people like the first. Was it the first 3 episodes of it? Yeah, because supposedly because of the animation style and the fighting style were really good. Um, and then, well, like you mentioned, that people just kind of fell out of love with it when as the season went on. Um, so I'm surprised I ended up getting enough votes to get best original anime of the year, because seeing the other seeing the other candidates for this award, like Girls Band Cry, Puchigiri, Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, Metallic Rogue, and Train to the End of the World, I thought it was going to be Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, because I've heard like a lot of more positive things for that than I did of Ninja Kamui.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess views are a lot more important.
Yeah, well, it's basically kind of like, I because to be fair, at the end of the day, these awards are kind of like a subjective award. These are kind of like fan votes and stuff. So, um, which is something to take, which is something to take heed of whenever the anime awards come out. So,
True. Well, next up, in the next category we have ReZero wins Best Isekai Anime of the Year.
I can see it.
Of
I could.
course, I've been telling everyone it's the best. Nobody listens, and now look, straight facts.
You have. I could picture you now having the most smug look on your face as a ReZero fan.
Of course, I'm drinking my cup of tears. Mm, very delicious.
uh, Folks, when trust me, when this man gets smug, he gets smug. Uh, but yeah, no, I would see when I first saw this category, I and like who else was nominated for it. This was going to be one of the more tight races for it because you got Shangri-La Frontier season 2 along with it. You got Jobless Reincarnation season 2 second core along with it. Konosuba season 3, and the time I got reincarnated as a slime season 3, and Suicide Squad Isekai. I had a feeling Suicide Squad Isekai wasn't going to win it.
Of course not.
Yeah, it was like it was one of those ones where it's like, all right, but you know,
It was one of those cash grabs, like, oh, we have no idea, so let's just make an anime.
yeah. But I would figure it would have been between Slime or ReZero season 3, with maybe Konosuba coming in like later, like as the dark horse candidate.
I mean, I'm all up for slime,
Mm,
but I don't know. Season 3 kind of fell flat a bit,
mm,
but
yeah,
that's just me.
yeah. And like Shangri-La Frontier, I know at least the action wise, basically based on the anime, it's fairly good. It's like one of the better animated battle isekais and stuff. Um, and Jobless Reincarnation, I know there's a good chunk of people that vouch for it and all that. So, but yeah, I could see ReZero because since this was kind of a more one of the more tougher ones to call, I could see ReZero pulling it off because especially with the way that season 3 ended with like a cliffhanger and all that. So,
Oh yeah.
mm,
I mean, it took them for ReZero. It's just amazing in general because think about it. It takes them 12 months to do one anime, one episode.
exactly. Now imagine because how long was season 3?
Season 3, if I remember, was 12. I can search that up real quick. Luckily for
Right.
me, my tabs are always open. Now, where's my ReZero tab? Here it is. ReZero has a total of 16 episodes.
Season 3.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, also take a because I know season 3, the gap between season 2 and season 3 was like a fairly long one. So
Yep. And the first episodes of all ReZeros are always 90 to 60 minutes long.
yeah, and those things, it's kind of like a mini movie. Well, pretty much the same amount, same like as a movie. So it goes a long way.
I mean, it needs to get your attention somehow.
True, true, that's true. And so far it's been pretty effective. So I can't blame him for that.
No, I don't either. I just get myself a snacky and something to drink, and then bam.
Get yourself a little snacker and maybe a little tendies.
Nah.
Oh man. All right, so now that we got Best Isekai covered, what other ones did you want to go over?
Next one, we have Mashal. Season 2 wins Best Comedy of the Year.
Well, one was kind of well. I can't really say for Mashal whether or not they, because I know there's a lot of fans of Mashal for basically the show and stuff. Um, and considering what else was nominated for it, it was going to be like a tough. It's going to be one of those ones as well, like Best Isekai that was going to be like up in the air to choose because you got Delusion Dungeon. You also got Konosuba season 3 again. You got My Dear Friend Nokotan, the remake of Ranma Half, and then Spy Family season 2.
Yeah,
So
but there wasn't a lot of comedy in like Spy Family though.
season 2,
Yeah,
there was a
there
fair
there, there
amount.
was some, but not a lot. That's
Mm.
why I'm like kind of seeing it. Why it could have been nominated, but why it didn't win.
No, yeah, like basically, at least it would have come down to Mash, or at least Mashal, Anokotan, and Konosuba, with maybe
Nokotan, I would have imagined that was to win because it's technically an anime shitpost.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty much what it's kind of like. Bocce the Rock during the funny moments, where it's just kind of like outrageous and stuff, but it gets you laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was kind of surprised to see Masha winning it. I mean, I've seen bits of it, of the comedy, and I could, I could see why it's funny and stuff. But, well, yeah, like I would have probably seen like either Konosuba or even fucking Nokotan winning it. But, I mean,
I mean,
congrats.
Mashal is pretty much One Punch Man in the Magic world.
Okay, okay.
That's the best way I can explain it to someone who never watches Mashal.
Have you watched it?
I've seen bits and pieces.
Okay. Yeah, it's at least it looks fairly entertaining. So I was saying, you couldn't really go wrong with any of the candidates or any of the nominations here. So, but yeah, I could see Masha winning it.
Yeah. Moving on from that category, we have Blue Box wins Best Romance.
So this one, actually, yeah, no, this one I could see it. I could understand why it won because I mean, the only the only really other ones that were kind of like a good competition that to basically to get this award was Sign of Affection, Mocking Too Many Losing Heroines, and Dangers in My Heart season two. I honestly thought it was going to be Dangers in My Heart, because I know season two was well received, by a good chunk of like basically kind of like the anime viewing audience and stuff. Um, but I know Blue Box was extremely well talked about as well. So, um, yeah, no, I mean, again, I could have seen it gone down to either Dangers in My Heart season two or Blue Box with maybe a Sign of Affection taking it, because I know that one wasn't relatively as talked about as the other two, but it was still well received.
Yeah, and for a series that has 197 chapters in its manga form, it's not that bad. I mean, Blue Box is about a badminton guy who falls for a chick in the basketball team.
Hmm.
And it's all
That
about, like, oh, can one sport and the other cross over according to the manga? Will it be a stable enough romance?
exactly, and that's one of those things too, where it's like since it's kind of a fresh concept, as it's still like a romance slice of life high school show. It at least kind of provides a new concept where it's like it's two athletes, but they're in different sports.
Yeah.
That a side note, I do remember that the main girl is a Steph Curry fan, so yeah, she deserves it automatically. No bias. Don't
uh,
fact check me on it.
of course, no bias. That's what every based person says.
So you're admitting that I'm based.
No.
Oh, God. Let's move on. What's the next category?
Sure, okay, based man.
Don't you deny it? Don't you hate on it?
You can deny these nuts.
Oh,
Anyways,
man.
Freeren Beyond Journey's End wins Best Drama Anime.
That was a bit surprising because I honestly thought, well, actually, no. Hmm.
No, I see it.
Yeah,
As someone who's watched it, yeah, I can see it.
yeah, I can kind of say it because I mean, you have the Apothecary Diaries, which has its fair share of drama, and Oshinoko season two. Honestly, yeah, if it was going to be chosen between three shows, I could have seen basically you come down to Free Ren, Oshinoko, and the Apothecary Diaries. Um, I haven't heard much about Dead Demons Day to Day Destruction. Try saying that three times fast. Um, so I can't really say like, okay, maybe it deserved it. Again, because Sign of Affection was also in this category. Um, I could have maybe seen it come up as an honorable mention or outside of the discussion. Um, and because there's this other one called Pluto. Unfortunately, I haven't heard much about it or haven't really heard anything about it. So, Can't really say whether or not it deserved it, but it's yeah, I could have seen Freeman at least kind of like in the second half of the season. See Freeman really take up the drama award for it.
Of course. And I will say this much, and I know a lot of fans agree with this. JP Freeran, oh, that's nice, pretty cute. EN Freeran, oh, mommy.
Bro, you should see the amount
They
of
picked
fuck.
a really good VA for EN Freeran.
Oh yeah, no, they did. I was surprised. You should see the amount of basically kind of like Instagram reels that pop up for using EN free rent. Whatever they do,
Tons.
yeah, whatever they did, like the whole
And I don't
mommy
even have
memes.
Instagram.
Exactly.
No, what are you talking into a Pringles cup?
No, I'm drinking my white monster.
Why has it got to be white?
It's the can, you fucking dipshit.
Oh
It's
no, the dog's going ballistic.
This is what happens when you own a pug.
No, it's not my bug. Oh, but you take care of it and feed it every day you get off work. It's not my bug.
Yeah, it's just basically being it's just being conscious of the dog, and so that
I
way.
wanted a German Shepherd. No.
Don't worry, buddy. Soon enough, you'll get your German Shepherd one day.
Huh.
If you believe in it, you will get your German Shepherd one day.
I shall not become Naruto.
God,
Believe it. No.
you would be like you would be like the worst motivational speaker in history.
I would. I'd be an anti-motivational speaker. I'd be bringing
just,
people down.
just straight up insulting people to either they get motivated to prove you wrong or just straight
My
up.
dream is to crush your dreams.
Oh man. So what do we got next for the anime awards? Because we're only doing a selected
Yeah, we're only
categories.
doing the main categories.
Mhm.
Not surprised, Solo Leveling wins Anime of the Year.
So this one was a more controversial one, I guess, for lack of a better term.
To quote a meme, do you have good storytelling? We have aura farming and combat.
Oh man. So basically, we consider what else it was up against with Don to Don, with Delicious in Dungeon, with Free Rent, with Kaiju Number 8, and Apothecary Diaries.
In my
It,
opinion, I put my vote down on Kaiju number 8.
I would have put it either for Free Rent or, yeah, either Free Rent or Don to Don. Because you couldn't really go wrong with either one of those selections. Not saying that basically solo leveling doesn't deserve to win, but I could kind of see why people were just like, no. Because, I mean, solo leveling has a solid story, but its selling point is its action, which is why it won action anime of the year. And that one was well deserved. Um, Now, for overall anime of the year, that's kind of the one where it's like, ah,
Yeah, because a lot of people kind of forgot why Jinwoo went on his journey.
yeah. And so
Oh, why is he crying over his mom being alive? Motherfucker, do you not pay attention in the beginning? He even said it himself. I need to get stronger. I need to get money to pay for my mom's hospital bill.
yeah, exactly. He says it right off rip. And so
If
pretty
you
much,
can't pay attention in anime, how the hell are you? How the hell are you paying attention in school? Because I don't see it.
yeah, no, yeah, it's a short attention span, but yeah, no, because even with that, it's like the story itself was like solid. I did enjoy it, but it didn't. How can I put this? It wasn't as nuanced as kind of like Freeran or basically as Don, where basically the selling point of the main turning point of Don was that it was that was episode 7 was that what was the name of the ghost from there? It was the dancing Silky one. Um, where it showed you like, oh, this is more than a comedy. This is, these ghosts actually have like tragic backstories to it, or these spirits have tragic backstories to them.
And a
Um,
man on a quest for getting his nuts back.
which is the most important story point of them all. How are you gonna say a man trying to get his nuts back isn't the most cinematic storytelling of our generation?
He got one of his testes back, but he needs the other one.
Oh man. Well, yeah, no, I could in a viewpoint, I could see both. I could see both the argument for solo leveling winning it, but the argument also too of like, nah, I don't think they should have won it. I do agree that it should have won Action Anime of the Year and New Anime of the Year because I think it won New Series of the Year as well.
Yeah,
Um, but it's one of those ones for overall anime of the year that you could argue is like, okay, maybe this wasn't it. Maybe it should have gone to Freerin or Kaiju number 8 or Don to Don. Uh, I haven't watched Apothecary Diaries enough to say, okay, they should have gone to them. And I'm still sort of going through Delusion Dungeon. Uh, for me, it's taking a little bit to get into Delusion Dungeon. Um, I don't know what it is, but it's it's kind of taking a bit more to get into it, at least in my point of view. Um, but nonetheless, I can kind of see why people are just like, why people can't really fuck with solo leveling as the anime of the year.
yeah. I'm still pissed that they removed some of the funny moments.
Yeah, because I remember seeing a YouTube short about it, like basically kind of like the different funny moments that happen in the manhwa for it. And I was just like, well, this would have been a lot more. It would have made it a lot more entertaining, more than it already is, if you had kind of like basic kind of Jinwoo's goofier moments to it.
Yeah.
I will say this for season two, they did add more of it. Say for example, when he meets what's the name of the demon elf girl? When he's going through the Tower of Hell, Essel.
Oh yeah.
When he meets Essel's father, and then basically he tells her, "Oh, I'm gonna be taking your daughter with me and stuff."
Hey, you what?
And then he backtracks like, no, not like that. As a guide through the rest of the floors. Or it's like if you add more stuff like if you added a bit more stuff like that to it, it's like okay, it rounds out basically Jinwoo's character a bit more. So, but I mean, overall, it's like it's still at least for my money, it was the better action anime of the year.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
No, I think we have some more categories coming up.
Yes, we have one more.
Mm-hmm.
Look Back wins best film of the year.
Mm. That one I can't disagree with. I haven't seen it because I know the other ones mentioned on this category is was Haikyuu, the dumpster battle, Mononoke the movie, The Phantom in the Rain, My Hero Academia, You're Next, Spy Family Code White, and The Colors Within. I know. Well, I know we see My Hero Academia, You're Next, and Spy Family Code White. Those were pretty fairly entertaining. But dude, a lot of people love Look Back.
Yeah. And for those who don't know what Look Back is, the I guess the more short and sweet of it is, it's about finding friends in the most unusual places,
Okay.
and just the journey of like, oh, I met this unexpected person, like, oh, we have some similar things in common, go on a journey, and then you realize that the journey itself is what causes the friendships instead of just the similarities.
Yeah, so pretty much it's kind of like that one saying, or it's like maybe the real treasure is the friends that we made along the way.
Yeah, it's tackling that cliche.
Okay. Yeah, and honestly, those story tropes, or those basically animes that follow that type of story trope, they tend to be. a bit more, or not a bit, but a lot more well written and a lot more basically kind of like emotionally connected to the audience as well. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I can see why Look Back won it. And it's a, you know that, and it basically got a shit ton of positive reviews. So if I remember correctly, I think it also got nominated for different like animated film festival awards and stuff too. So
Yeah, I can't fault it for that.
yeah, and so yeah, if you want to check out more of the anime awards of the different categories, because I know we only covered some. Feel free to check them out. They should be posted up. I'm currently looking through it through AnimeNewsNetwork.com. But honestly, you could search them up through Google and see, and also comment down here on this episode to see if you agree with our takes or if not. Again, you know, at the end of the day, the awards are subjective. Um, yeah, basically, you have the people that basically vote for them have different tastes and stuff. So yeah, it's all subjective. Just as long as you love them or you don't like them, or if you like a certain show and you think that that's your anime of the year, hey man, more power to you.
Yeah. So moving on from that one, we have your usual anime releases.
Exactly.
First anime we have the Banished Court Magician aims to become the strongest. It is set to air in October 2025 by Studio Gecko.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. My microphone unexpectedly cut.
Look at that.
I was explaining what the anime was, and I guess my microphone cut.
I was wondering that because I was like, isn't this usually where you explain stuff?
Yeah, it is.
No, but go ahead. What's it about?
It is about a fuck. I totally lost the tab now. I swear, people, we are professionals. I swear, we're
we
very
we
professional.
we are very professional. We're just encountering some technical difficulties because also too. Remember, we are doing this remotely. Spectre and I, whenever we film these episodes, we are not in the same room. He's at home and I'm at home, uh, which I'm hoping to change soon because that's oh boy, let me tell you, because I usually, I'm the one that edits them, and the amount of kind of like dead air in between, kind of like the talking points, it does get annoying to edit them out and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, anyhow, the banished court magician aims to become the strongest. This party doesn't need an incompetent magician who only uses support magic. You're fired, Alec Ugret. Suddenly, Alec, a court magician who only joined the Crown Princess's party to help him conquer a dungeon, was banished from the party. And not just the party, but the Crown Princess's harassment has banished him from the royal palace as well. And a friend of the Magic Academy, quote unquote, apprehended Alec, who was at his wits' end. Hey Alec, do you want to try to conquer the dungeon with us again? Question mark. And so, together with his friends, he used his party, comma, this writing is so weird. Alec begins his new journey in his new life to become the strongest.
here's the thing that basically I don't get with basically the people that kick out their support, the support wizard or the support magicians out of their party. Why did you do it? Well, like I understand that they were a crappy support, that they didn't know how to kind of like provide support or heal people. But you know damn well that basically it's like, oh well, they're not good at attackers. That's because that's not the point. They're supposed to be a support character. You need them. Why do you think? Why do you think whenever you play RPG games and stuff, right? Uh, the one of the main basically kind of like attack strategies is always go for the support caster, and then basically five or your next adventure in, and you're already deep in the dungeon, and then half your squad is dead. You're just like, well, fuck, fuck. What's the difference? I don't know. You shouldn't have fired the support character, my guy.
Yeah, he's the one who has just pockets full of potions.
Exactly. Exactly, motherfucker. If I was running a party, that's the last person I would fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but this one seems like it's gonna be good though.
Oh, it sounds interesting just in the premise on itself.
Yeah, that
But I mean, it also might fall into one of those like curse categories of like, oh, it's another one of those animes where the protagonist gets kicked out of the party and then they don't know that he's actually super powerful and whatnot. It's like uh,
yeah,
that trope is starting to get really tiring.
yeah. That's the other thing too. It's like because due to the kind of like the oversaturation of it, well, of that kind of like specific isekai trope, it gets. Eh, it's tough to get. It's tough to get invested in it. Where in this case, you would need kind of like a really, really interesting character, where it's like, okay, maybe he doesn't have like like a hidden power, or his bloodline is secretly like a world famous, like for being like high class sorcerers or something, right? Um, that's more. You get more invested in it, where it's like, okay, you know what, they actually see them training from the ground up, but no, I get what you mean. Where it's like once you see like a few, you tend to see all of them at that point.
Yeah.
But hopefully this one ends up being good. So we'll see about that.
Next up we have ReZero Season 4. It airs in 2026 by Studio White Fox.
And along with that announcement, I know there was a new visual that came along with it, right?
Yeah, the visual is Shuala sitting while the carriage of Subaru and gang crossing the desert.
Okay. And so pretty much because I know, well, I know you're a resident ReZero expert. Shuala, she's and spoilers ahead. So in case you don't want to, so because you're,
So think of Shuala as the new Rem with that
mm,
same kind of energy.
okay,
And like Rem, Shuala loves Subaru, but
mm,
not for the reasons you think. She was there 400 years ago in sealing the Witch of Envy.
oh, okay,
But the reason why Shuala loves Subaru was that she thinks that Subaru is the reincarnation of Fungal, her old master.
oh, okay, okay. So basically, that's the only reason that she's, or not the only reason, but that's kind of like the one of the main reasons that she's into Subaru.
Yes,
Yeah, that seems
because
interesting.
it's one of those like, oh, you resemble like my old master and whatnot, or you have the same aura energy as he does.
And basically, since Super's coming from basically a different world, she thinks that okay, it's my old master that came back to life, to probably find me or something.
Yeah,
Okay, that's usually a nice twist of stuff.
yeah, yeah. So that's a bit of spoilers.
Yeah, and basically, if in case you are interested, I think you mentioned it on the last episode, but I know you let me know a few times. I think it's the web novel that ends up being the more accurate one for when it comes to the anime, correct?
Yes and no.
Okay. That's
The light novel is the one that's more canon accurate.
okay. The light novel is the one that's more canon, because there's the manga, there's the light novel, and there's the web novel, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Because you want to basically pick up where season 3 left off and onto season 4, um, go ahead and pick up the light novels for ReZero. I heard a lot of good stuff about them too, and that, and like I think they add in, or I think they have more detail to the story that the anime might have missed out on.
Oh yeah. So moving on from that one, we have Grand Blue season two, set to air in July 7th, 2025, by Studio Zero GX Liber.
Nice. Oh, that's in a few months. That's fairly actually like about a month and a half from now. Um, or more so a month from now. So yeah, in case you have any Grand Blue fans listening on here, you don't have to wait that long for season two.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna come by before you know it.
Another one we have, an interesting title:
Mm-hmm.
Otherworldly Munchkin. Let's speedrun the dungeon with only 1 HP. Is set to air October 2025 by Studio Durandal.
Now this is kind of interesting. So do you have like the synopsis for it?
I am currently searching up as we speak.
Otherworldly Munchkin speed runs through the dungeon on 1 HP.
Here we go. 16-year-old Yukito Kirahana lives with his 14-year-old sister, Sana, whom he treasures more than anyone else. But when an ogre shows up outside of his window looking for Sana, a shocking event on its own right, Yukito leaps to save her and is killed. He offered He's offered the premise of reincarnation by a mysterious woman who gives him a character sheet in a mysterious book. When Yukito sees Sana there too, he sets off to find her and saves them both. Even if he is even if he only has 1 HP to do it.
Damn. At least this one's gonna be vague, somewhat interesting, mainly because he's already at low health right off the rip to
Yeah.
try and look for his sister.
Well, let me read you some of the tags just to get you kind of imagining what this is going to be. First off, it has 108 chapters,
Ah, okay.
but it has monster girls,
Mm-hmm.
fantasy, drama, isekai, magic, adventure, survival, comedy, romance, animals, demons, action, monsters, reincarnation, gore, sexual violence.
Hey, yeah, no, this little motherfucker isn't surviving jack shit. uh,
Yeah, but you gotta worry more on the sister, cause
yeah, that that last tag was yeah, that brings up that brings up some flags. So
mm-hmm.
hopefully the sister hopefully the sister goes through it more unscathed.
Oh yeah.
No, but damn, like fucking 1 HP. You're in a new world. You essentially got a D&D character sheet with you. Best, all I can say is best of luck to you, my guy, and hopefully you find your sister and get the fuck up on out of there because that's that's not going to be an easy task.
Oh yeah. Especially with those tags lined around. Yikes. Yikes, my guy.
Uh, so that and also this invest if you can decrease your HP, invest a lot in like invest a lot in like defense potions and defense material and stuff because yeah you're for sure gonna need it.
Invest in some body armor and a gat.
Yeah, no, fucking do that. Invest in body armor and a gat. And fucking whenever like a goblin or some shit tries to come up on you, pull that strap out and just fucking.
Make sure it has a switch on it.
Oh god, yeah, because at that point that's the only way you're gonna get out of the new fucking world.
God.
Oh man, oh
Moving on from that one,
yeah.
We have Takopi's Original Sin. Uh, Anime is set to release on June 28, 2025 by Studio Enshia.
Mm.
This is set to be a short anime with only 6 episodes. For those who don't know what the anime is, uh, Takopi travels from a happy planet to spread happiness across Earth, but meets an unsmiling Shizuka upon landing. Her friends at school and at home life seem to be the source of her somber expression? Question mark. And the pure-hearted Tokapi is determined to change things for the better. But what truth awaits him when the curtains rise and the shocking drama is revealed?
This one sounds interesting. I do tend to like that concept a bit, where it's like, they're basically, it's a character coming in with good intentions and all that, and then trying to essentially kind of fix the world, because it does remind me. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the story of the more recent Hatsune Miku movie that came out, where the Miku that can't sing.
Yeah.
Um, where it's pretty much she's trying to sing, or in the movie she was trying to sing to the people, or she was trying to have her voice reach out to the people that were going through like negative emotions and thoughts regarding basically kind of like their life. It's almost kind of reminds me of that, where in this case she's trying to uncover as to why, or as to what's going on, as to what the as to why the girl that she's visiting has kind of like a, why her home life and her school life are kind of like, you know like sad and
Fucked.
yeah, yeah, for lack of a better term, fucked. Um, yeah, so that's gonna be a good interesting watch, especially for a short series. Now, you really want to give her a challenge. Try basically sending her to somebody that works fucking corporate for with a fucking shit management.
Nah. You want to be depressed? Play Dark Souls. Try to speedrun that shit.
God, you just see the more negative. It's kind of like Sentry in Thunderbolts. The basically, but instead of punching out your negative emotions, the more you end up dying, the more you get covered by the shadow stuff.
Yeah.
Why the fuck can I get past? I already beat this goddamn boss for like for the fifth time. How? How does it have an extra life? Fucking entire room just gets covered in shadows. At,
Oh God.
at that point, at that point, Taco Beach just gonna be like, you know what? No, I'm out of here. I'm good. Y'all can solve this on your damn selves. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
uh,
Moving on from that one, we have another short anime. See you tomorrow at the food court. Anime is set to air in July 2025. Also, a short anime with 6 episodes by Studio Altir Pondik Dark. I
nice.
am totally butchering that studio name, and I apologize. This is a comedy by Shinichiro Nare about a hard to approach girl and a scary looking gal opening up to each other in the food court where they meet coincidentally.
Nice. See, that's always a good one to watch, because essentially it's more so that they find friends within each other, and basically then they realize, oh yeah, you know what? Instead of basically kind of worrying about like other people, we could just become friends ourselves, and then people will see that, hey, we're not so bad.
Yep.
Oh,
If you wanna read it, it's pretty much 2 volumes. It's a 2 volume books, volume one and volume two, with a total of 25 chapters.
oh, okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good short read, in case you want to get something a bit more wholesome or slice of life. For an afternoon.
Yep. And according to the official publishing that has been published in 2020, it is marked as ongoing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's been out since 2020, still marked as ongoing, but so far it has 2 volumes: Slice of Life, Gyaru, School Life, Physiological. I totally don't know how to pronounce that word, and comedy.
That's gonna be pretty. It's still gonna be pretty good for like a good afternoon read.
Oh, yeah. Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, for all of the connoisseurs out there, Chained Soldier, or Matao Seihi no Slave, manga is going on hiatus due to the poor health of the author. The author claims that he will return on June 14th, 2025, or if his health does not get better, maybe a little later to get a much more needed rest and a break.
Yeah, yeah, because I know basically for Chain Soldier, at least from what I've seen, that basically the manga's been going solid steady for like the past few years. And it's always good. I mean, no matter what it is, it's always good to basically have a break, especially when it comes to your health. Um, so yeah, hopefully it does basically put itself as a priority first and gets a well deserved break. Because I know there's a lot of people that are fans of Chitty Soldier that fuck with it heavy. So yeah, and if you're one of those fans, send your best well wishes to the author too.
Oh,
Let him know that you care about his health.
and let him know by not letting him know. Let him know in spirit,
Exactly.
because you don't want to add to his stress
That too. That too. Because we've also read stories about that.
about people harassing and all that stuff when he's just trying to get a break.
Exactly.
Moving on from that one, we have Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus. It is set to air in July 5th, 2025 by Studio Cloverworks.
Nice. I've seen the trailer. I think it was a few weeks ago. I seen the preview or the first preview for it. It looks interesting. I think it's following up from where the movie left off a few years ago.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in case basically you're a big fan of the Rascal Does Not Dream of series, they only got same thing as always. You only got a month before the season starts, so not that long.
Yeah, so, get ready for some more Rascals.
Yeah, now what kind of rascal doesn't dream of Santa Claus?
Me.
Just a tragic backstory. I lost faith in Santa years ago when I wanted this toy, but he only got me a pair of socks. I was just asking why. Why would you give me this? Because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah, well, I used that sock. I put the hamster inside it, flipped him around, and smacked him against the wall.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man. Yeah, the
Try to
twist.
quote the YouTuber I got that one from.
I'm okay. I'll just let it go as a funny thought in my mind.
Oh, look at that. So cute. Put it in a sock, flip it around the room, and smack it against the wall.
uh,
Anyhow, Dreamland uh, is set to have an anime adaptation. It is set to air in 2026. No month or day has been confirmed.
okay.
Now, for those who do not know what Dreamland is, this is the more or less the story of it. Ever since his mother died in a fire, Terence had secluded himself in an emotionless world. He goes through his daily teenage life apathetically, with one exception. The simple sight of a flame plunges him into the world of fear in an awakened version of his nightmares. For every time he falls asleep, he helplessly relives the tragic event, thus rekindling his pyrophobia, until one night he can't bear it anymore. stops running and runs towards the devilish flames. Little does he know that by doing so, he overcame his greatest fear and became a traveler, a very special kind of dreamer, able to explore dreamland, the dimension born from mankind's dreams and nightmares.
Okay. That sounds kind of like something worth the watch because especially since this is one of the main messages of it is like pretty much facing your fears, and there's no really other way to go around them. You have to go through them.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but the second part of it, it's basically now that he has the ability to do, because what I'm getting from it is that he now has the ability to kind of enter the dreamland, or the other escape was called the Dreamland, where you can now see other people's dreams and nightmares and maybe help them through it.
Yeah.
At least that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, the premise of itself just sounds interesting.
Yeah,
I'd give it a watch.
yeah, especially if it's 6 episodes. Yeah, I mean, seems like it's going to be something at least.
Well, we don't know how many episodes it has. So far, it's just a release month,
Oh,
and
okay,
that's
okay.
it.
No, okay, I don't know why I thought
Or
you
not a
mentioned.
release month, the release year. We don't know if it's going to get the traditional 12 episodes or if it's going to get the enhanced episodes with like 25. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it gets like at least a solid 12 episodes, so that way, we can at least see how it pans out. But it sounds super interesting.
Oh, yeah. Moving on from that one, we have one of your favorites,
Oh, really?
Lewd Yuri Android. Does it count if you lose your virginity to an android? It is an oncoming anime adaptation that will be released in 2026.
All right, so I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw the announcement that this is getting adapted, um, I was like, "Yo, the fucking way this is getting animated." So I will say this: like right off rip, it is at least kind of like borderline off-brand. Isn't that basically realm where it's like the highest form of ecchi before going into off-brand shit, right?
Yeah,
Uh, but pretty much, because I think you have the synopsis for it, right?
I do, yes.
Go ahead and present it, and I'll speak more about it because it's it's a fucking funny story.
Girl's Love is about an office lady who's seemingly well put together, but in the privacy of her own home, she's somewhat of a mess. To change that, she orders an android maid, but dot dot dot. This horny robot is way too eager to please her. Quote, and not only when it comes to household chores, end quote. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh man, dude. So yeah, pretty much what the synopsis it is basically what the synopsis says, right? But then there's the added twist to it. So basically, in the story, there's a law that you can't actually own an android, or I think it's
A
basically
sex bot?
yeah, you can't own a sex bot. Only basically companies are allowed to own androids or sex bots because I think sex bots are completely illegal. And so, on top of the fact that she has the main doctor, or the main character is who's a scientist in a android factory and stuff, right? On top
Yeah.
of the fact that she has to keep it hidden that she has a sex bot that she accidentally ordered while if I remember correctly, I think she was drunk one night. But it's one of those things where you kind of a window of clarity is like, man, my apartment is messy as fuck. I should order a maid bot. And then basically in her drunken stupor, she orders a sex bot, but she doesn't realize it until it's too late, right?
Yeah.
Um, and now she's just freaking out. Her mind's going like a million miles an hour. It's like, fuck, I didn't mean this. Why is she trying to hit on me all the time? Oh wait, I can't be owning her because it's illegal. Oh
Hey, yo,
no.
why she trying to slam clans?
Oh man, I'm good.
I ain't like that. And she goes to whisper in your ears, But even straight spaghetti can become curved.
Oh my god. Um, I'll say this: the other selling point of it is the comedy because it's so goddamn funny, especially in the way, especially because he's trying to basically um, teach this android like, oh, you need to act more proper and not out of pocket in public and stuff. Uh,
Moans in public.
oh man! So there is 3 volumes out. It's worth the read mainly because I mean, if you're into edgy stuff, it is worth the read. But also, if you're into comedy stuff, it's for sure worth the read as well because you essentially see the antics of it. And I'm leaving it as vague as possible because some of the shit does get extremely out of pocket. Um, and I'll leave this. So whenever you get like a new device and stuff, right? You have to register it.
Of course.
The Android has, how can I put this, has a unique way of registering herself to the owner or to the doctor or the scientist, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what it is, but you're gonna once you find out, you're gonna have a fucking time cracking up on it.
My mind automatically went to the Deadpool thing. Do you have an off switch? Oh, maybe it's right next to the on switch.
Oh man. So I'll leave it as vague as possible, but then it becomes a running gag of she's desperate. The bot is desperately trying to get the scientist to basically get her registered because she wants to quote unquote belong to the scientist.
Oh, you're mine and mine only. Now slam your clam against me. Oh. God.
Oh, dude, I'm still surprised this is getting animated because oh god, it's so fucking funny.
Hey, if the dog one can get animated, then this one can.
Oh yeah, no, no, because I
And if
know,
you don't know what I'm talking about, good.
yeah, no, because I do remember, I do remember when the dog one got animated, and you were just like, why? Who?
I even read it so that you didn't have to, and it turned out that it got animated, and I suffered in vain. Speaking
um,
of which, if you made it this far in the listening, how about you put down a little comment? If you want to add to my suffering, send over the title of some series you want me to explain. I'll read it so that you don't have to.
exactly, exactly. Please honor, respect your sacrifices, because this man, when he commits to it, he commits to it. He is a completionist. So if you have that specific manga or manhwa that you're eyeing and you don't know whether or not it's worth it, put down in the comments, Spectre, can you read this one for me? And you'll be pleasantly surprised at what he finds.
And I'll suffer in silence.
How long do you think you'll manage to go through without your mind breaking apart?
I'm Mexican.
Just like how that was your automatic response.
Yes, I didn't even have to think twice.
Oh man, so yeah, it's gonna be a while. So yeah, if you have any manga or manhwa that you've been meaning to check out, but you
But
want,
you know, it's kind of out of pocket because the tags are like, "Hey, yo, send it my way,"
and he will gladly read it for you.
and I'll totally not judge you for it.
Oh man, well yeah. So since I sort of can't wait for this to get animated because it's just so fucking funny. Um, but yeah, moving on. Do you got anything else for us?
Moving on, we have A Gatherer's Adventure in Isekai. It is set to premiere in October 2025
Mhm.
by Studio Tatsunoko Productions X Synergy SP Productions.
Wow, that's a pretty long name.
Yeah. For those who don't know what it is about, uh, Takeru Kirishiro is an ordinary middle aged salaryman who was chosen by God to be reincarnated into a fantasy world in the body of a handsome young man in his prime. Takeru sets out to learn more about the world while gathering rare and interesting materials along the way to sell for money, in which he can use to gather even more materials and add to infinitum.
So at least what I get from it's an isekai, but at least it's kind of like a bartering isekai where it's like, hey, I got this pelt from like this orc that I saw got hunted down. Do you want to trade me for I don't know, like basically this like rusted sword or something?
It's pretty much, from what I'm getting, it's a loot goblin isekai.
You know what? I can fuck with
he
that.
he sells loot to buy more loot.
I can fuck with it because sometimes because a good check of the time the Luke Goblin isekais are some of the more entertaining ones.
Yeah, it's just like a magpie where it's like, ooh, a shiny thing, ooh, an even shinier thing.
You know what it is? You know when you play Fallout and then as soon as you go into like an abandoned building, you find like a bunch of loot, even if it's stuff you don't necessarily need, but you still bring it with you as a just in case.
Yeah,
And then
I
you,
have that problem way too much.
yeah.
You are overcumbered, man. Fuck you. I want to bring my power armor, but I know these motherfuckers are gonna damage it.
It's like, why don't you just drop some of the loot? Nah, but what am I gonna need it later? That's the
I
thing.
I want to move slow as fuck back to my base, even if it takes me an hour to get there. But I'm coming home with loot.
Oh man, we don't have enough hoarder isekai animes out here.
No,
We need more, at least just to freshen up the genre.
we have horror animes, but we don't have any hoarders.
Oh god. Oh yeah, no, this one sounds like it's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah. And finally, we have heroine, saint. No, I'm an all works made, and I'm proud of it. So,
Okay.
for those who don't know what it's about, and don't panic, I'm not forgetting about the release date. It has no release date. It's just announced for the adaptation.
Ah, okay.
Release date is postponed or set to be announced.
Huh. So basically, it looks like it's going to be some. Hopefully, within the next few months, it's going to be at least kind of like a general year of when it's going to come out.
Yeah. So, what this anime is going to be about is I'll become the greatest maid in the world. With her black and white skirt fluttering in the wind, a girl declares her vows. Her name is Melody, a girl, reincarnator of a Japanese origin, inherited a dream of her past life and began working as a maid in a ruined courthouse in a kingdom of Theolas. She can transform cheap black tea into top shelf drinks as easily as she can upgrade a ruined estate into a newly finished mansion. From household cleaning to serving meals, hunting game to DIY constructions, just leave everything to me. Anything is possible with the help of an all powerful magic. Truthfully, this is actually the world of an otome game, and the superpower, omnipotent melody, is actually the saint, except she hasn't realized it yet. Falling in love? Fighting demon lords? More importantly, I've got chores to do. What will happen in the world whose savior has put everything behind her to become a maid? How does the world cope when its grand script has declared in favor of manual labor? Welcome to the fantasy where a single job has unintentionally cogged the fates of destiny.
Okay. After hearing it, you know what I think. You know what I think. This is kind of about.
Well,
It's like if Noelle from Genshin got her own anime
I guess, yeah.
because it's essentially a power. Well, obviously Noelle isn't like basically kind of like a reincarnated deity or something, but she's so
No, but she's
powerful.
strong as fuck, and she's a One Punch Man reference.
Oh yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much yeah. That's the type of vibe it gives me, where she's basically strong as fuck, and basically can battle away monsters with almost no issue.
On
But
launch.
but she's also, but for the most part, she's a dutiful maid, and she's
Dutiful.
it's a word, you dig. But she's basically a loyal maid that her main focus isn't battle, but it's more so to become the best maid that she can be. And I feel like that's the type of vibe I'm getting from this anime, because she's a reincarnate. She's essentially well, at least from what I'm got from the synopsis, is that she's like a god level person, right? But she just chooses to be a maid.
She doesn't know she's a god level person.
Ah, okay, okay.
It's like the world of One Punch Man, where only Genos and who's that old man who's Garo's master?
King.
No, the old man.
Oh,
Garo's master.
Silverfang, right?
Yeah, him.
Yeah, yeah.
Only they and King know how strong One Punch Man really is.
But
And
basically,
everybody else just thinks like, oh, he's just a B-lister. Nobody cares about you.
but this is almost in the same aspect where instead she's like, oh yeah, I'm just a dutiful maid, or I'm just basically kind of like a hardworking maid, even though she has the ability to take down a wyvern with one blow.
Yeah.
Oh man, see, this is the type of peak that we need. Ultra powerful battle maids, ready to take down a dragon, in like under 5 seconds, but still wants to go. They still want to fulfill their mainly duties, such as basically kind of cleaning the house, raising the vegetables, you know, all that stuff.
Oh no, the saucy activities too that comes with that maid work.
Not that.
No, what you mean? It's in their contractual obligation to do so.
Good God. I don't know what type of fucking maid shit you've been watching, man, but
No, what? Don't blame me. Blame the Dojins.
Anyway, but yeah, no, this sounds fairly interesting. I'm looking forward to when they actually announce the release date. But I'm assuming the manga is still ongoing, right?
The manga has 19.5 chapters,
Mm-hmm.
4 volumes. It was published in 2021, still ongoing. It is reincarnation, comedy, magic, isekai, fantasy, and adaptation.
Nice. I can see the comedy aspect of it because I can see basically kind of like a scenario where where she basically takes down kind of like let's say an orc king, and she's like, oh no, I still have to get to the market to pick up ingredients for tonight's supper.
Yeah.
Oh man, and so but yeah, looking forward to seeing it come out.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, chapter 5.6 is called Making Torture Tools That Shed No Blood.
What?
I shit you not. That's what it's called. Chapter 5.6. Short novel.
Uh,
Making torture tools that shed no blood.
now that's what I call efficiency.
Yeah.
Side note: I'm gonna need you to send me the link to that manga right away on Discord.
No.
Man.
I shall keep it to myself.
But why?
I shall not share.
But we're friends.
Fuck your friendship. I'm a hoarding goblin.
What the fuck was that?
I'm a loot goblin.
What thing are you looting? We don't have loot.
Yes, the chapter loots.
Oh gosh.
And the sauce.
If you want another form of gatekeeping, call this man to become a goblin instead of a gatekeeper.
What'd you call me?
Yeah, exactly. Man. All right, but I think that's all you got for your anime news section, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I know I mentioned on the last episode that I was going to watch Moonrise, the sci-fi anime that came out on Netflix, and so I did manage to get around to it over the past few weeks. That in between recordings and stuff, um, and
How
so
kind of you.
you could have watched it too, right?
Yeah, but I didn't feel like it.
Nah,
I had other animes to watch.
nah, huevón. Uh, But yeah, so I ended up watching it over the time span. I'll say this, at least for like a quick 3 episode review, it's interesting. I do see the point of view of like when people said that Netflix should have promoted it a bit more. That it was kind of like underrated, because it does. So I'll I'll basically reiterate because I think we went over, or I think this is one of the anime news sections that we covered like I'll say probably like a few months ago when it first got announced. It is basically kind of like a sci-fi anime that has to do with the Earth essentially kind of creating a sort of an elevator to go to the moon, to basically create essentially kind of like a trading route with the colony that's in the moon. It is also humans as well. But then it turns out that basically and this happens in episode one, that the elevator gets it gets blown up, and essentially the main antagonist of the show, Bob Skylarm, he ends up basically saying, "Oh, well, we're not going to let the people of Earth, try to conquer the moon and all that," and essentially kind of leading a revolt to it. And so in the first episode, it does show that you do get a healthy amount of um, flashbacks for the main character, Jacob Shadow, also known as Jack by his adoptive parents, um, where you get to see that, and slight spoilers, but Jacob was actually raised by Bob at the moon. Oh, in one of the basically, I think it was a base in the moon, orphanage in the moon. Um, and so it's Jacob and his best friend Phil, and so pretty up until one day where basically the base of the moon gets attacked by, at the time, I don't think it was the United Government, or I think it might have been. But they basically get attacked. Phil and Jacob are like the last kids left standing on inside the base and stuff. And so when Jacob loses his arm as a kid, they have this contraption where Phil is able to give his arm to Jacob, and so he sends Jacob away to Earth, where he gets found by his adoptive parents, who happen to be the people that are one of the people that are funding the whole project to essentially create that elevator shaft towards the moon. Um, and then, but they get killed off, or it's presumed that they get killed off in the first episode when basically the shaft lands on them. Um, but yeah, no, at least for the most part, I will say it is kind of interesting, mystery wise, because although events happen, um, when Jacob's already kind of like a full grown kid, or full grown kind of like young adult and all that stuff, the United government thinks he has something to do with it, even though basically he's claiming his innocence and stuff. And then we get kind of like at the flash forward scene, a year later after the incident with the elevator shaft blowing up, where he's with his friends that are essentially kind of, they got rounded up by the United government to essentially start fighting the rebel resistance that's on the moon. It is kind of hinted that his childhood friend Phil might be dead, or he might have survived the blow up and the moon base and stuff. I did leave out of an episode three where because they have already made it to the moon, and essentially the bar that they were relaxing in, it got attacked. At least the upper story got attacked, and Jacob goes upstairs to see like, oh, what's going on, and he discovers something. But then the credits roll. Um,
What's this? End credits.
what I've done starts playing by Linkin Park.
God.
But yeah, no, at least for the most part, I will say that it's kind of like it's a solid watch. At least so far within the first 3 episodes, there is a good amount of flashbacks towards him. So, um, I do kind of, because I know one of the criticisms of it that people had, or it's like it made it tough to keep up with what was going on between the present timeline and basically kind of like what was happening in the past and all that. Um, but it do at least kind of, it does help to piece together the story a lot more, and the mystery aspect is fairly solid. It's kind of like your standard. Is he alive? Is he not alive? Who's actually in charge of I think is I think the name of the I think the name of the rebel faction in the moon is I think they call the Moon Chains. Um, but the action is like a high selling point for it too, especially since it's one of those animes that includes kind of like the FPV um, sequence of whenever they have to get into a shootout with the rebels and stuff. Um, so for the most part, it's like okay, I'd still be down to watch it because I believe it ended off with 18 episodes for the season. Um, but right now I'm like currently going through like the different going through different animes, but I would still be down to go or visit, continue on to finish off the season.
All right, sounds interesting.
Yeah, and so yeah, and as I mentioned, it is on Netflix. Um, I do see kind of the reason why people say that man Netflix should have promoted this more because it is fairly underrated. Um, but in my perspective, it's one of those ones where it's like, oh, you got to drop everything and go watch it. It's more so like, okay, if you're like in the mood for a bit of standard sci-fi stuff, you can watch this. The animation's clean. The JP voice acting is pretty good. Um, and basically the story is like it has a good enough mystery and intrigue to it where it's like okay you could probably binge watch like 3 episodes in one night and continue on moving forward. Yeah, but yeah, I'll probably give it like a solid like 7.5, 7 out of 10 so far.
Okay, it's not a bad rating.
Yeah. Yeah, with that, do you have any anime reviews?
I do not.
You do not. How dare you not? How dare you leave me stranded as the only person with anime reviews?
Haven't been watching anime this week.
Oh yeah, no, because you've been super busy this week too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, speaking about that, now that we basically got the anime reviews out of the way, and it's about time to wrap up, we do have to talk about something because we went to go pick up Doom: The Dark Ages recently.
Of course.
Bro, this game is too goddamn fun.
It is, yeah.
So pretty much, I'll say this at least because I've been playing at least in the lead up for the Dark Ages. I've been playing Doom 2016 and after get on Eternal afterwards because work's work has kept me busy from playing. But when I pick up the Dark Ages, it is one of those things where if you how can I put this? If you want to feel like essentially what the definition is of essentially being a first person tank, I guess, and just blitzing through everybody, we cannot recommend this game enough.
Hmm.
And it's dude, it's just been super fun. Um, this,
This is pretty much the Doomslayer earning the name Doomslayer.
yeah, yeah, that's the best way to put it. Because this is essentially a prequel to the Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. um, where instead of having because he still has sort of high tech weaponry at his disposal, but he doesn't have it like he has it in Eternal, where he has essentially the whip to be able to kind of attach different parts and swing to through like different crevices and all that. He doesn't have this quick dodge feature. No, this game basically encourages you to go through each of the demon hordes, um, causing as much destruction and chaos as you can. And
Yeah.
the one feature that I do like is essentially when you start climbing up walls and stuff, it's not like a simple, oh, yep, climb and push up. Nah, this motherfucker straight up like a bear grabs onto it and just like boom, 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 boom. And so that's essentially the main basis of it. That and using the shield is so much fun, dude. At least basically with kind of like the shield with the extended saw on it. Because right now I have the abilities where it's the extended saw, and you essentially could have it ricochet off the energy shield and stuff, and it takes out a shit ton of demons within the same field, and then comes back to you. So you pick up like essentially shield parts and health along the way.
I'm not adding my intake because I'm already on chapter 12.
Mm.
I don't want to spoil too much,
Oh,
but I
no.
will say you get to release Cthulhu.
So if the giant mech and and your own personalized dragon with a fucking Gatling gun didn't do it for you, Cthulhu is also there. Oh
And
man,
he
but yeah,
watches
no.
you as you release him from the cage. No, like legit. He
Wait,
watches you every time when you're circling around his cage, killing demons. You, if you notice, he turns to look at you as you're killing demons and releasing him from his shackles.
nice. Oh man, so yeah, in case anybody was on the fence about playing it, Doc, I well, we cannot vouch enough for this game. It is worth it if you're looking for kind of like an FPS shooter where you could essentially cause as much fucking destruction and just slay a bunch of demons all in one sitting. This fucking game is worth it. It's worth the $60 or 60 $70.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did because also since the game came out, I was reminded of kind of like Doom Eternal when that came out, and supposedly the whole like fandom crossover between them and Animal Crossing. And pretty much, I saw a comment saying, "Oh, you know that the Doom community is one of the more wholesome communities and stuff because they take out their stress playing this game, while basically doing the righteous role of slaying a bunch of demons and stuff for it as a stress reliever."
Oh, dude, Doom is so worth it.
Yeah, yeah, it's super worth it, and pretty much, especially now, I love the parry system for it. The parry system is so satisfying when you're able to get it off.
Oh yeah.
And and that's the other thing too. That the gameplay encourages you to parry a lot because if you notice, basically during the attacks, whenever they do the whole light up green stuff, time tends to slow down, but you're encouraged to go over there. It's like, all right, reflect it back on the demons. But yeah, that's our basically our encouragement for you guys to play Doom: The Dark Ages in case you haven't gotten it. Um, it's worth it. That and it's 22 chapters so far. So fucking yeah, definitely for sure play it. And with that out of the way, I think it's about time to wrap it up. You got anything to say for people after this Memorial Day weekend?
Loot.
Loot, nothing but loot. Do not worry about what people think of you. Loot to your heart's content.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the show, this should be coming out Wednesday morning. I know it's about Monday night right now, and so pretty much, hopefully, you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, you guys are staying safe out there, and putting in your best effort throughout the day. Just go ahead and work for it. Work for your hopes and dreams, man, because you never know. It's you only get one go around in this life, so it's always worth it. But yeah, for myself and for Green Spectre, this is Easy the Shinobi signing off. And yeah, you guys, thank you again for joining us on the Otaku Kickback sessions, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Yeah.
Laters.